You only ever fight against yourself. That is the only difficulty that you have. You're fighting against becoming who you could be. And we all do that because it's a process of our evolutionary journey. It's a process of our self-actualization or whatever we might use to move to that place where we understand who we are. But there's another aspect of that. We live in the world. And so there's energy. We're all energy. When we come into the world, we have a very unique blueprint, as I call it, or plan that we could live that would cause us to live these really great lives. We don't always do that because we have to move through all the judgments and all the things we were told that we weren't enough. That's what might be going on for you. And then you keep thinking that. And so then you aren't enough because you're fighting against yourself. Who told you you weren't born to be magnificent? Who told you that you weren't born to really create something magnificent and make great contribution into the world? You. That's the only one who did it. And I can say this because that's what I did. So when we look at the world now, we might think, wow, things are really, there's a lot of stuff going on. We don't completely understand. I just was looking at something happening in Paris because now the Olympics are coming up, and so everyone's really concerned. It's all energy. And that energy is coming from humans. And the humans that decide that they're going to love who they are and love others, then we're going to see something very different because that's the science of how the world works. And I couldn't tell you that before because I was fighting against myself. But I'm going to tell you now because I know that it's really important. And I can even tell you what's going to happen the rest of the year. I can tell you what's going to be going on. We exist in our consciousness. Consciousness always exists. We can access it in different ways. I started accessing higher states of consciousness in 1989. But to tell everyone that that's what I was doing and that that's how I healed my life, because I was doing all kinds of really ridiculous things. I went through every horrible tragedy and difficulty and challenge in my life. And then I started to heal and did it because of the work that I was receiving. Because it's all mindset. We know that. And people ask, well, what's the difference in what you did? Well, I connected to the divine. That's why I can work with anyone and tell them who they are. I did two private sessions today, two private channeling sessions, which I wasn't doing before, but I'm doing them now because I know it's going to be valuable for a lot of people. And these two people were just blown away because I could read everything that was going on for them even before they got to the session. Because, see, I asked them for their birthday because I have that information. I was given that in 2012 as well. And so I had all of this information. Consciousness changes over time throughout civilizations. And I understood that. And so that's why I could heal. But it was also very challenging for me to tell others because they're not going to believe that, because they fight against themselves, because they don't think that they can change. They don't think that they can do something better. But I'm going to read you a message for July 26th because that's going to be, I could give you all of them because I downloaded an encyclopedia. I've talked about this, an encyclopedia of personal development and ascension and all of that. And then what happens when you use it, you heal and you feel great and you ascend to this higher state of understanding. Now, everyone's not going to do that. And I know that many people don't understand what I'm talking about, and you would probably never do this work. And I get that. But I have to move on because I've held back too. I haven't finished the work that I've had. I did several presentations where I kind of showed you all the years that I sat down and did this work. And that's what caused the philosophy that I was given to be developed. And that's what also caused the healing in my life, and that's why I can see things in a different way. But I will tell you that we're going to still move through a lot of little different divisions, but you change that when you decide to become yourself and love who you are. So here's a message that will give you a lot of insight and you'll understand also why I'm making changes. I put that out earlier because we never finish. And most times we don't know who we are. And so it kind of unfolds and then you have to accept it. But mine was so different that it took a while for me to accept it because I nobody's going to believe it. I tell you all the time, I healed everything, but to have people believe that. And then there's a funny thing too, and you'll hear this. If you go back to listen to any of the Wilhelm sessions, it was said like 3 years ago, they said people probably won't believe it until you charge $5,000 for it. That's in several of the information because that's really it. And then when I'm saying no, no, anybody can do this, and I know if more of us do it, They will live great lives and we'll have this really wonderful world. But we fight against ourselves. And so here's a little example of how I have done that because I said, they're not going to get this at all. So this was in this lesson came through in 2022, as a matter of fact, on July 26th. You only ever fight against yourself. It took a while for us to get Roger to write those words, which is why our message is late today. This fight is one you are having as well, and it is the one we have had with him continually. But due to the restructuring of you, him, and your world, we thought we might help some of you stop some of your fighting you have been doing with yourself. The next fight we had with Roger was that he thought many of you would not understand this message. But that is an excuse many of you have used because you don't understand yourselves. At this time, you are on your evolutionary journey and the planetary shift of your world. You were born with all power, wisdom, and the ability to create the life you desire and influence your world. Still, your hypocrisy does not always allow you to accept that belief, no matter how often you attend your churches and synagogues and hear those words, but don't believe them. Then you continue with coaches and mentors, but still feel unsatisfied. Now you understand why we gave you our work for this time in your life and that of your world. Still, it will help if you choose to stop denying your greatness. We knew you were doing that, so we provided the following message on this calendar date in 2012. Roger has been fighting within himself to believe that he could have received this, but you have done the same thing in your unique way. We are also preparing you for our live conversation on Thursday. For the more of you who choose to understand and accept the wisdom of this message, you will aid your journey and the restructuring of your world. You will be fine. Every character trait you possess is perfect, meaning, has meaning and purpose, and helps you achieve your expansion goal. When you remember that before you came onto the earth plane, you knew you were perfect as you were and merely desired to become more, this concept will make more sense. When you are born into the physical world, you begin to forget that information precisely for the purpose of remembering it throughout your physical lifetime. For that indeed is the process of expansion. You would do well then to acknowledge those character traits you find unpleasant or distasteful to you and allow yourself to know the value and meaning they hold for you as you evolve. And so you can look at that and listen to it and know that it's probably true within you. I've channeled cosmic information, so it's universal really for everyone. But see, most people will think, well, no, that doesn't even make sense. That's not in this real world. That couldn't be happening. Except I'm showing you the results, you see. It's healed me, and you hear so many other people who have done the work that I'm talking about. And so it's about you up-leveling your energy within yourself, deciding to love yourself. I'm 73. I'm going to be 74 in November. I'm not doing this that much longer. That's why I'm changing and I'm putting all of this work out so people can have it. I'm never going to get I'm not never going to get certain people to believe that they can do that because what happens is you get programmed into believing what is impossible. You think everything is impossible. I'm saying, nope, I've healed all these impossible things and it's a mind-body connection and the work gave it to me and that's what happens. But you might still fight with yourself. But I hope you don't because when you understand the energy that you are emitting into the world, these lower vibrational density energies, that's not going to serve us well because we're going to have so much of that in the world. So your job is going to be love who you are. Please subscribe to my channel, share it with others, check out all my work. It is there. And if you decide to stop fighting with yourself, coming into my work would be the best thing you could possibly do. All right, see you soon.